All right, guys, it's time to talk about the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And I have to say, this is what I was afraid the first one was going to be. So the story to Sonic 2 is pretty simple. Essentially, you have Dr. Robotnik returning, but this time he's got the aid of a character named Knuckles, and together they team up to fight Sonic, but Sonic's not alone this time. He's got his pal Tails, who shows up, and together they are on a mission to stop Professor Robotnik and Knuckles from getting this almighty powerful gem that can pretty much do whatever the person wields. It sounds pretty generic because it kind of is sort of pretty generic. The thing about the first Sonic was that there was so much charm, there was so much there to like, and you'd think that all that would be ripe for a sequel to just come in and just build upon everything. And while they do that to an extent, it does bug me that it doesn't live up to the first one, unfortunately. Is this one terrible? Not exactly, but it is a step down from the first film in almost every way. I mean, you still have Ben Schwartz, who does a great Sonic. He's still great in this. James Marsden comes in the limited amount of screen time he gets in this one, he's still charming and fun. But now you add Idris Elba coming in there, and he's a new addition. He's a great addition to this Sonic cast as the voice of Knuckles. And then you have Jim Carrey returning, and I do have to say, unfortunately, Jim Carrey is not as good as he is in that last movie. There's stuff where you could see he's trying to still ham it up. But I'm not sure if it's just the shtick is worn off, or if, the writing was just so blasé that even, Jim Carrey could save anything going on there with all his facial expressions and just, how he would go about this character. It didn't work as well. I mean, he's still good, but I definitely didn't laugh as much. I didn't find as much fun in his comedy as the last film, which was really kind of disappointing, to be honest with you, because I was very excited to see what he could do. And they give him a little bit more to do. They give him, an upgrade even in this film. So I was a little disappointed by that. And then they also brought in the voice actress who does the voice of Tails in the video games, I guess. And to be honest with you, I don't know if they needed to bring in the video game voice actors to do Tails. I mean, for video game fans or fans of the Sonic franchise, I'm sure it was great for you guys. For me, it could have been anybody at that point doing the voice of Tails. I didn't really feel that much personality to the character. That they didn't really get a whole lot to do, even though they were introduced and supposed to build this bond with Sonic. And I don't know, it just didn't work for me. But, I will say it does work for kids, because I saw this in a theater full of kids, kids on the left, kids on the right, and they all enjoyed it. And hey, this film is meant for them. And, I get it. And it just didn't completely work for me like the first film did. I think the first one was a little bit more catered to everybody. This one was a little more on the kids' side, but there is still some good salvageable stuff in here. I think they build up a lot of the Sonic lore. Knuckles is a great addition, and it helps add to kind of building and fleshing out this world that Sonic comes from and where they could go. All the stuff that drags it down is anything to really do with human characters. Like in the first film, you had the sister-in-law character of James Marsden, and in this one, she gets a little bit bigger of a role because there's a whole side plot with her wedding, and it's just, if you see that, you go see this movie. When you have anything to do with that wedding, essentially, you might as well just go to the bathroom, because you ain't gonna miss nothing. There's just nothing in there to warrant it being in this movie. It had its moments where I chuckled and it was kind of fun, but it totally just, there was like a 5-10 minute stretch where we were focusing on this and not Sonic, the reason I'm there. And that's another big issue I have with the film, is the pacing was all off because of this. I mean, at least in the first film, it felt like there was at least a good pacing. You chug along, you got Sonic there by your side. Sure, maybe you deviate a little bit to deal with some of the human characters, but then you're right back on the track with Sonic and friends. But this one, it was just like, it's kind of all over the place. Like, you'd be with Sonic and doing this cool, I get it. Like, I'm with it, this adventure, and then it just veers off into this human stuff. And it's like, I don't care. I don't care about this character. Sure, she's good for some laughs, but outside of that, it served nothing for the whole movie, and it was just a pointless side plot that boy, it infuriated me at the end. Like, the more it kind of went along, I was like, are we really wasting our time with this instead of, flying by with Sonic? Because that's what really slowed this movie down, because this movie has got a lot of pacing issues. But whenever Sonic and Knuckles are on screen together, it's great, and they're the highlights of this film. I mean, they're the centerpiece of a lot of the posters, except for Jim Carrey, who's usually standing ominously in the background. But Sonic and Knuckles are really the driving force of this film, and I enjoy those aspects of it. That still works for me. That is what would keep me going into seeing a third movie, or even a Knuckles spin-off show, or whatever they're going to do with that. But yeah, so it's fun, and if you have kids, take your kids to see it. I'd say that. It's just, it definitely, the magic is kind of worn down a little bit from the first film. I hope a third film can pick it up and learn from these mistakes, because that first one was, oh God, I can't stop gushing over the first film. And I'm so disappointed just leaving the theater and, feeling like this, because I was really excited to see this movie. So the special effects, I think the special effects are a step up in this movie from the first one. My big gripe is still, it feels like they could have done some more, because anytime like a character like Sonic or Tails is on screen with a human actor, it feels off. You could tell it's CG. Obviously they're CG, but it feels very awkward watching it sometimes. There's a few times where it feels integrated really good, and that's a lot of the Knuckles stuff feels a little more well integrated, like they put a little more time into having Knuckles blend in with an environment with a human as opposed to Sonic. So I don't know how all the technical stuff that would go with that, but I feel like they could have done a little more work, because there's definitely some scenes where Sonic is integrated so well, and others not so much. So yeah, guys, on the whole, I mean, definitely a step down. I mean, that's the biggest disappointment here. I'm going to be giving this a C+. Definitely not terrible, but man, it a lot of the wind is taken out of my sails from this one, and I'm pretty disappointed. I don't think it's bad. Like I said, it's not bad. I am just disappointed, because my expectations, my excitement was so high after seeing the last Sonic that, I guess I set myself up for that one. But this is exactly what I feared the first film was going to be. That's my biggest takeaway from this, was this did everything I thought the first would do to and that was going to be where my expectations were going to be set. But the first movie just did so much with so little that it worked. And this one, it was all the stuff I feared, and it bums me out to death. So guys, do you plan on seeing Sonic 2 this weekend? If so, leave your comments down below. If not, why not? I'd also like to see those. Now remember, please hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. It helps the channel out, as does hitting that subscribe button and the little notification bell down there, so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video. Yeah, guys, I don't know what the next movie it is I'm going to be reviewing, but man, April's got a lot of good stuff coming. And hopefully I'll see you guys again here the next time we do a review. So until then, I'll be seeing you.